things. They're looking for things that haven't been claimed in the past. They're taking videos from 7, 8 years ago. Give it a rest. My God. Now, if I didn't fight these 3 claims, my channel will get taken down with my 2,000 videos. Is that ridiculous? It's ridiculous to me. And they're for interviews.
Hi, welcome to Rock and Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. On today's episode, I'm going to react to the latest Rick Beato episode that he has called "The Record Label is Trying to Silence Me." Now, I really like his channel. He's got great interviews on there. I really enjoy the way he breaks music down. He's very knowledgeable, amazing musician, great producer. And I've even got some music in my collection that he has written and produced. And I understand why he has done a video like this. Because, he's concerned about the health of his channel. And he's letting his subscribers know that potentially he could lose his channel if he continues to get copyright strikes. So he's getting copyright strikes. He's getting them from, especially, he's really focusing on this video, on the copyright strikes he is getting from Universal Music Group, or UMG. And a lot of people are supporting him. And I understand that. I get that. He has 5.1 million subscribers. And yes, his channel is, of course, monetized. And, because of that, I would assume he makes a good living from his YouTube channel. And I can completely understand why he would not appreciate UMG or Universal Music sending him copyright strikes, or actually, as he calls them, bogus copyright strikes in the description of his video. But, I think it's important to look at it from both sides, because I think about YouTube and the way content is used on YouTube, and I think it is important to look at it from both sides. And I think from the comments I've read, a lot of people are thinking, hey, this is some massive record company that's just going after some YouTuber that they like, a YouTuber that they like. But, the way music is moving, some YouTubers are getting really big and they have a lot of power. Well, let's be honest, record companies, and I'm not talking about necessarily UMG, but they're just trying to hang on and survive as best as they can. Now, a company like Universal, yeah, that's massive. And, I think it's important to understand that obviously they are also a big company with lots of resources, etc. But I also think that's kind of irrelevant. You still got to see it from both points of view. And after I watched Rick's video, I left a little comment on his channel. And I said, the copyright strikes, well, at the end of his video, he said, these copyright strikes are for interviews. And I said in my comment, but it's not. These copyright strikes are not for interviews. It's for the music. It's the music that you are playing. There may be just little snippets, but you are playing music that you do not have ownership of, okay? And that's the problem. If he didn't have that music on there, he wouldn't have an issue. I also wrote, at the same time, playing a snippet of a song is probably not actually taking away any money from UMG. If anything, it's possibly helping to promote the product. So I can kind of see why he's like, why are you worried about this? I'm only playing a snippet, and potentially, of course, people might hear that snippet. They've also heard the interview or what he's been talking about. It may actually prompt them to go off and, I don't know what people would do these days, though. Do they go off and buy the CD? Buy the record, maybe, or maybe they're just going to stream it online. Either way, it is some promotion for the artist. Okay. Here's the thing. Supposedly, Rick is hiring lawyers, and he's consistently fighting these things, these copyright strikes. And supposedly he always wins. So, if he's always winning, I guess you could say, well, what's the problem? Well, it's probably not cheap to hire all these lawyers. And, I'm sure it's a bit of a pain, right? He has to do this every time or whenever he gets a copyright strike. And, I was thinking, well, yeah, it's a bit of a problem for him, but why would he put this on his channel? Because his channel's, about talking about music and, that sort of thing. And I'm assuming he puts, and this is not the first time he's done an episode like this. I assume he's putting it on here because, he's hoping it might drum up some support for him and this problem that he has. But I do think, that's probably not why people go to his channel. They want to hear him talk about music, and they want to listen to, his interviews and things like that. But for whatever reason, Rick seems to think he, the talking about music and interviewing people, that he actually needs to have some music accompany it. And I don't know that he does. I think people enjoy him because he's so knowledgeable. They enjoy hearing him talk about music, and they enjoy, the interviews that he does. So I'm not sure that he does. Yeah, possibly the music does enhance it a little bit, but I don't know if that's totally necessary. And if you're getting copyright strikes, well, maybe you should just not worry about it. Not worry about having the music. But anyway, he also talked about other channels. So it's not just his channel, and I can understand others. It's, companies like UMG are probably going after the big channels, the big channels, the well-known YouTubers that have lots of subscribers and getting lots of views. So he also talked about Professor Rock has also had a similar thing. And, I don't know what that's like because, I'm just Rock and Metal Invasion with 1,000 subscribers, which I'm happy about, but it's nothing like this bigger channel. So, I don't really know exactly what they're dealing with. But the way I see it, or the way I feel is, I actually never feel right about putting anyone's content on my channel that I don't have ownership of. Now, I'm not saying I haven't done it, and it's probably easier for me, being a smaller channel, to get away with it. But I don't necessarily feel right about it, So putting someone else's content on my channel that I don't have permission for, that I haven't created, it's probably not the right thing to do because I don't own it and I haven't got permission for it. Even, thumbnails, right? And that's the main thing I probably even do these days, right? That I don't create myself. Sometimes I'll have thumbnails and it'll have pictures of bands that I don't have ownership of those photos. Okay. So, and that's probably not a big deal, and a lot of people do that. But, and also I will say too, I don't have to do that. So often now too, I'll just take a picture of me holding a record or things like that. So, but like I say, I have done it in the past. I've played music videos and, reacted to them. And sometimes when I've done that, even though I'm not a big channel, it's got nothing to do with that, I suppose. YouTube has some, ability to work out what I have uploaded is copyrighted material. And so sometimes I've uploaded things and I've been told I cannot upload this video because it contains copyrighted material. Or it will say you can upload it, but your video cannot be monetized. And I kind of accept that. And, I think actually that's fair enough. But actually, to be honest with you, you can actually pretty much upload anything. So I don't know if everyone actually knows this. You can pretty much put anything on YouTube. All you've got to do is just got to argue that it's for fair use after a couple of days, unless the owner of the copyright says something, which I think is fairly rare, especially maybe for small channels like mine. Then your video gets released. And of course, it doesn't mean later on, the owner of the copyright can't come back to you. But again, that very rarely actually happens. So, but yes, you can. But of course, it's still not monetized. So I know a little bit about this. I've done this a few times. So I wanted to do a video reaction to the Britney Fox music video Girl School, but I wasn't allowed to. I wasn't allowed to do that. So I put in a request to say that it was for fair use. And after 2 days, well, basically the record company didn't do anything, so it was released. And again, it doesn't mean that whoever owns the copyright to Britney Fox isn't going to launch a copyright strike against me at some point. And yes, I know there's a big difference between me and Rick Beato, and they're probably, not worried about Rock and Metal Invasion. And, it's the whole thing's quite interesting in itself, right? Like, it's Britney Fox. It's from 1980 something. Like, I'm playing one music video. I'm probably speaking I spoke very positively about this song. If anything, again, just like what's happening on Rick's channel, I'm only promoting the music. But I get it. It's out there, though. It still is on my channel, but I haven't been able to monetize it. But I think what's happening on Rick's channel is UMG, and specifically, and this is what I think he's upset about, they're going through his channel and they're just striking anything that has any of their content on it. And, he's got a lot of content. And I think he's got a lot of content where he's used a lot of music that he doesn't have ownership of. And so obviously and understandably, that's a problem, because if that gets taken down, or even his whole channel gets taken down, he's going to lose all of that. Like I said, I can see it from both points of view. At the end of the day, if you don't own something and you use it, and then you use it to make money, because he's making money off this, well, that doesn't seem fair unless you have organized permission or you have some deal where you share the profits. So yeah, at the moment, he's monetizing. It seems like he's able to, I don't know how he does it, but he's monetizing this copyrighted content. Like I say, I can't monetize Brittany Fox, but yeah, he's monetizing stuff that is copyrighted content. And then, of course, he's getting these copyright strikes. And then he's fighting them, saying it's for fair use. By the sounds of it, his lawyers argue that and win that usually. So, yeah. But anyway, it was interesting too, because he even gives an example of the sort of income that he's making, because he talks about a 40-second short that has a Counting Crows song on it. So he's in the short, to be fair, he's interviewing, I think, the guy from Counting Crows. So it's a great promotion for the band. He's actually got the band member on his channel. He's talking to them. Obviously, this is a short, so there must be a full episode of this. But he talks about that he makes just $33. And he's saying, well, why are you coming after me for just $33? I mean, you could look at it from the other point of view, though, as well, right? Like, well, if it's only $33, why are you so worried about it? Why not just take it down if it's such a pain? And, from UMG's point of view, it's probably got nothing to do with the money, right? It's more like the principle, right? They're just like trying to be consistent, right? You're using our content and you don't have permission. It doesn't matter how much views or how much money you're making out of it. It's just a short, but hey, it's not allowed. So, yeah. And I guess, for me, it opens up like a whole bigger picture as someone, who creates content on YouTube, that, really, should people just be able to put anything on there, because I've noticed reaction videos, people who do reaction videos, they, can sometimes get quite a lot of views. Not necessarily my reaction videos, but I'm just saying other channels, they get, quite a lot of views. And I often think, is that because people are interested in the person's reaction? Or is it because of what they're actually playing? They just want to hear the song or want to watch the music video, and okay, there's someone else watching it, but that's not why they're kind of there. Because in theory, that channel is getting views from something that has nothing to do with them. And you can often see the difference too, because if that channel then does something else, it's not a reaction to a music video or song or something, and they're not using someone else's content. In other words, it's just them, it's their own thing, it will have less views. So it's just them. They're using anyone's content, then the number of views drops. Let's be honest. If you're doing a reaction to a popular music video or song, and you might even put that song and then the artist in the title, it might be something that people search up, and then automatically, they just by accident might click on your video, which is kind of a little bit like what I've done for this episode. And that's kind of intentional. I thought, well, okay, I'm going to use the same title that Rick Beato has used, and I'm even going to use a snippet from his channel. Hopefully I won't get a copyright strike from him. So I know there will be some people who are not going to agree with what I'm saying, and that's okay. And I'm hoping that I don't get a thumbs down just because I have a different opinion from you. Okay. I mean, if you've got this far, hopefully you've found it interesting, whether you agree with me or not. Actually, Grant from Grant's Rock Warehouse, a channel I check out from time to time, he also did a rant on this. And, looking at his comments, not everyone agrees with his point of view. And, of course, that's okay, isn't it, right? Because, everyone's got a different point of view, or you can have a different point of view. And I think it's important to remember, though, the whole point of my point of view here is just saying that, if you own something and someone uses it without your permission, is that right? I mean, if that happened to you, how would that make you feel? And then they're even making money out of it. So I just kind of think, YouTube, just like the internet itself, it's a little bit lawless, right? Even though they try to put controls in place, it's a little bit lawless. Thankfully, no one really owns the internet. And while, yes, YouTube does have owners, you are able to put anything on it, and you can make money on it as long as you are happy to adhere to their rules and regulations. And actually, I think that's fair enough. All right, I hope you enjoyed this little rant. If you did, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button if you enjoy this type of content, and I'll catch you later. All right, see you.